Beloved soul, if you are here right now, listening to these words, know this: nothing about this moment is accidental. There are moments in time when the veil thins, when the universe does not whisper, it calls, and December 20 stands as one of those moments. This is not an ordinary dark moon. This is the final dark moon portal before 2026, a closing gate, a cosmic threshold, a moment when timelines collapse, reset, and reconfigure around those who are ready. And you would not be here if you were not ready. You may have felt it already, the strange pressure in your chest, the sense that something is ending, but you can't quite name it. Old identities shedding, old attachments loosening, a quiet urgency rising in your spirit. You've been asking questions you never used to ask. You've been sensing truths you never learned. You've been feeling called towards something greater, even when you couldn't explain why. That is not confusion. That is remembrance. The dark moon does not bring darkness to punish. It brings darkness to reveal, to strip away illusion, to return you to the truth that was buried beneath survival, expectation, and fear. And as this portal opens, the universe is watching who will step forward. Take a breath here. Feel your body. Feel your awareness anchoring into this moment. If this message resonates with your spirit, subscribe and leave a comment below. It helps me deliver these divine messages to more souls like you, those who are ready for awakening. Now, we will dive deeper into the next aspect of your awakening.
You were never meant to awaken suddenly. You were prepared, slowly, deliberately, lovingly. Before the mind ever understands, the soul begins to recognize. And long before this message found you, the universe had already begun rearranging your life in quiet, undeniable ways. The signs did not arrive as lightning bolts, they arrived as patterns. Numbers repeating at impossible moments, dreams that felt more real than waking life, a strange pull towards silence, solitude, or the night sky. Moments where time seemed to pause, where you felt watched over, guided, even held. You may have brushed them off at first, coincidences, stress, imagination, but the signs kept returning. People you once relied on began to drift away. Plans you were certain about suddenly collapsed. Paths that once felt safe began to feel hollow. And what hurt the most was not the loss itself, it was the confusion, the sense that life was dismantling itself without explanation. But here is the truth you are now ready to hear. Nothing was being taken from you. You were being released. Released from timelines that required you to struggle for worth. Released from roles that demanded you shrink your truth. Released from agreements made in fear, not alignment. The December 20 dark moon carries a rare energetic signature, one that does not initiate beginnings, but seals endings. This is the kind of ending that does not ask permission. It arrives when the soul has outgrown its container. Astrologically and energetically, this portal dissolves unconscious contracts tied to survival consciousness, scarcity in love, scarcity in money, scarcity in self-belief. And that is why so many of you have felt pressure around finances recently, not because you are failing, but because your soul refuses to build a future on old structures. That is why relationships have felt unstable, not because love is leaving, but because resonance is being recalibrated. That is why motivation has fluctuated, not because you are lost, but because your spirit is rejecting goals that no longer match who you are becoming. The dark moon does not illuminate externally, it illuminates internally. It pulls your awareness inward, where truth cannot hide behind performance or distraction. You may feel tired in ways rest cannot fix. You may feel emotional without knowing why. You may feel an urgency with no clear direction. That urgency is your soul recognizing the narrowing of timelines. Some paths are closing forever. Some cycles will not repeat again. And while the ego fears this finality, the soul recognizes it as mercy. You are not behind. You are not missing anything. You are not failing your destiny. You are standing at the exact moment your higher self has been guiding you toward, patiently, relentlessly, compassionately. And still, awareness comes with a cost, because once you begin to see the signs clearly, you cannot unsee the truth they reveal. And that is where the real challenge begins. Now we will dive deeper into the next aspect of your awakening.
There is a grief that comes with awakening. No one talks about it, but you feel it. It's the grief of realizing how long you lived disconnected from your own power. The grief of seeing how often you dimmed yourself to be accepted. The grief of recognizing patterns you once defended were quietly draining your life force. You may feel anger rising, or sadness, or exhaustion so deep it feels ancient. Let me tell you something important. Nothing has gone wrong. This stage, this discomfort, is the false self unraveling. The version of you built to survive is loosening its grip, and it will protest. It will whisper doubts. It will remind you of past failures and tell you to stay small because it feels safer. But safety is no longer your calling. The dark moon exposes what you've been carrying that was never yours to hold. Ancestral burdens, emotional debts, unspoken expectations. You are not breaking apart, you are breaking open. And when the old self resists, it's because the soul is stepping forward. Stay with me here. Do not rush this moment. Now we will dive deeper into the next aspect of your awakening. There comes a moment in every true awakening when something inside you quietly, unmistakably clicks. Not with fireworks, not with spectacle, but with a calm certainty that settles into your bones. It is the moment you stop asking, "What is happening to me?" and begin realizing, "I am remembering myself." You may not be able to explain it to anyone else. Words feel clumsy here, logic feels insufficient, but deep within you something ancient stirs. You realize that you were never powerless, only disconnected, never broken, only buried beneath expectations, never lost, only waiting for the right moment to return. And this remembering does not inflate the ego, it humbles you, because you see now how much strength it took just to survive, how much wisdom was forged in silence, how much courage it required to keep going when no one truly saw you. This is where self-blame dissolves. You stop replaying the past with shame and begin seeing it with compassion. You stop judging your delays and begin honoring your timing. You stop asking why it took so long and understand that it could not have happened any other way. Your intuition sharpens here, not dramatically, but reliably. You begin trusting the subtle nudges, the quiet no in your chest, the gentle yes that arrives without urgency. You notice that your energy returns, not all at once, but steadily, like light creeping back into a long abandoned room. And with that light comes discernment. You see through emotional manipulation more clearly. You recognize when something costs too much of your spirit. You feel less compelled to explain yourself to those who are not meant to understand. This is not detachment born of bitterness. This is sovereignty born of clarity. And many of you are watching right now, feeling something shift inside, but you haven't subscribed yet. If you're still here in this moment, it's because this message was meant for you. Hit that subscribe button, not just for numbers, but so these divine transmissions can find you every single day without interruption. Because this remembering is not a one-time event. It is a process, a reclamation. This is the moment when chosen ones stop waiting to be chosen. You no longer look outward for permission. You no longer outsource your truth. You no longer betray your intuition to maintain comfort. You feel it now, the quiet authority returning. An authority that does not dominate, that does not prove, that does not chase. It simply is. You remember that you have walked through fire before and emerged wiser. You remember that you have carried others even while you were wounded. You remember that there is something within you that has never been touched by disappointment, rejection, or time. A core that remains intact, a light that never went out. And as this remembrance anchors into your nervous system, something extraordinary begins to happen. The noise quiets, the urgency softens, the path ahead no longer feels chaotic, it begins to feel intentional. This is the moment when confusion gives way to coherence, when resistance loosens into acceptance, when effort begins to align with flow. And from this remembering, alignment is born. Now, we will dive deeper into the next aspect of your awakening.
Nothing in your life has been random. Every delay, every closed door, every heartbreak, they were not detours, they were calibrations. The dark moon portal brings you into resonance with your true path. The universe does not reward force, it responds to alignment. And alignment feels like clarity, like peace where chaos once lived, like certainty that does not need validation. Love shifts here. You stop seeking intensity and start recognizing resonance. Money shifts here. You stop chasing survival and begin attracting sustainability. Purpose shifts here. You stop asking what will impress others and start honoring what fulfills your soul. This is the timeline where effort softens and intuition leads. You are no longer swimming upstream. Now, we will dive deeper into the next aspect of your awakening. Power does not arrive the way you were taught to expect it. It does not announce itself loudly. It does not demand attention. It does not dominate or conquer. True power arrives quietly through grounding. It settles into your body first, into your breath, into your posture, into the way you move through a room without needing to be seen. This is the stage where your nervous system begins to recalibrate to truth. You are no longer operating from urgency.
You are no longer reacting from old wounds. You are no longer negotiating your worth in every interaction. Instead, something steadier takes root: self-trust. Not blind confidence, not bravado, but a deep, embodied knowing that you can meet whatever arises without abandoning yourself. During this dark moon portal, your inner power activates through choice. Small choices at first, quiet ones. You pause before saying yes when your body says no. You step back instead of overextending. You allow silence where you once filled space with explanation. And at first, this feels uncomfortable, because you were conditioned to equate worth with usefulness, to equate love with sacrifice, to equate safety with compliance. But as you hold your ground, something shifts. Guilt loosens its grip. Fear loses its authority. Your energy stops leaking. You begin to feel more present in your own life. Moments sharpen. Colors feel richer. Your intuition becomes less reactive and more precise. You start recognizing patterns instantly, not as threats, but as information. Who drains you? Who respects you? What environments nourish you? What goals energize you? And which ones quietly deplete you? This is power reclaiming its home. And the universe responds to embodiment faster than it ever responds to effort. You may notice synchronicities accelerating, people reaching out unexpectedly, doors opening that require less force than you're used to. Not because you're doing more, but because you are aligned. You are no longer pushing against life, you are standing with it. And this is where magnetism is born. Your presence becomes clearer, your words carry weight, your decisions feel cleaner, less tangled in doubt. You stop trying to control outcomes and start trusting timing. This does not make you passive, it makes you precise. You act when action is true. You wait when waiting is wise. You speak when your voice is needed. And you remain silent when silence protects your energy. Power at this stage feels calm. It is the calm of someone who knows they no longer need to chase what is meant for them. The calm of someone who understands that force repels, but coherence attracts. You are no longer here to convince, you are here to embody. And embodiment changes everything. Because when you move from this place, the world begins to reorganize around your frequency. Some people will feel inspired by you. Some will feel uncomfortable. Some will naturally fall away. You do not chase any of them. You understand now that alignment is not about holding on, it is about allowing what resonates to remain. This is where your power becomes unmistakable, not because you announce it, but because you are no longer available for anything that diminishes your spirit. And as this power stabilizes within you, a deeper realization begins to surface. This strength was not given to you for comfort alone. It was given to you for a reason.
This is where the chosen ones step forward, not to be above others, but to lead by frequency. You feel called to create, to guide, to build, to heal, to speak truth even when your voice shakes. Your destiny is not a title, it is a responsibility. And as you accept it, fear no longer controls you. It becomes information, not an obstacle. This is your timeline now. Now, we will dive deeper into the final aspect of your awakening. Beloved soul, pause here with me. Take a breath, not just into your lungs, but into your chest, into your spine, into the place inside you that knows. You have not simply listened to a message, you have crossed a threshold. The December 20 dark moon does not ask for belief, it responds to readiness. And the fact that you are still here, still listening, still present, means something profound has already been sealed. This chapter of your life is complete. Not because everything is perfect, not because every question has been answered, but because you are no longer the same consciousness that entered it. From this moment forward, you walk a different timeline. A timeline where you trust yourself sooner. A timeline where you recognize misalignment faster. A timeline where you stop negotiating with what drains you and start honoring what nourishes you. You will notice it in subtle ways. In the way your body reacts when something is not true. In the way your patience shifts from endurance to discernment. In the way you feel less willing to settle and more willing to wait. This is not arrogance, this is alignment. And understand this clearly, the universe responds to commitment. Not perfection, not certainty, commitment. Commitment to showing up as who you truly are. Commitment to choosing growth over comfort. Commitment to walking forward even when the path is still forming beneath your feet. This is where many people turn back, but you didn't. And that is why this message found you. So now I ask you, not as a creator, not as a voice on a screen, but as a witness to your awakening. If something in you felt seen here, if something in you felt activated, if something in you whispered, "This is for me," then anchor it. Subscribe, not casually, not passively, but as a declaration. A declaration that you are choosing awareness over autopilot, truth over illusion, alignment over fear. Leave a comment, not for the algorithm, but to mark this moment. To say, I was here, I heard the call, I chose to step forward. And share this message, not because everyone will understand it, but because somewhere, someone is standing exactly where you once stood, waiting for confirmation that they are not alone. This is how light moves. This is how timelines shift. This is how awakenings ripple outward. You are not late. You are not behind. You are right on time. Walk gently, walk bravely, walk truthfully. And remember, you were never meant to stay asleep. This is your moment. This is your timeline. This is your divine calling. And now you carry it forward.